The yard behind the cottage had been trampled into a paste of mud, ash, and thawing frost. A rain barrel lay split on its side, its iron hoop half buried in the muck. One of Mara's laundry lines sagged between two posts, a childless domestic thing made grotesque by the bodies hanging from it. Not people, only blankets and torn shirts stiff with smoke and blood, left there by the wind to mimic the dead. Cale followed the dark streak across the yard to the woodshed, each step placed with a soldier's care, though there was no enemy left to surprise. The door stood open a hand's breadth. He pushed it wider with his sword point. She was inside, laid against the stacked winter wood as if someone had flung her there and not bothered to see whether she lived. Her green cloak was dark, almost black where blood had dried through the wool. One hand still gripped the broken haft of a hatchet. The other was curled near her throat, fingers stained where she had tried to hold herself closed. Her dark hair had come loose from its tie and lay across her cheek. Her eyes were half open, emptied of the steady life that had once met him knowingly. Cale stopped in the doorway. He had seen men disemboweled and horses screaming on pikes. He had walked over heaps of dead beneath city walls. None of it had prepared him for the sight of Mara lying there in the gloom, as if the world had used her up and thrown her away. He knelt at last because his legs would not keep him upright. The sword slipped from his hand and hit the floorboards with a hard, jarring clang.
Mara,
he said, and the name came out hoarse, as if spoken by someone much older. He touched her face with the backs of his fingers, the way he had once done when she slept by the hearth after harvest. Cold, not the clean cold of winter water, but the settled cold of absence. On the floor by her hip, half lost beneath her cloak, the diamond ring he had given her gave off a faint glint. For one crazed instant he thought of setting it back on her finger, as if that could bind them forever. Instead he took it, because it was the only act left to him that did not feel useless. He bowed over her without tears. Grief had gone beyond weeping into something harder and more shameful. The knowledge that all his victories had purchased nothing worth keeping. He had broken shield walls for a king, crossed rivers red with men's blood, come home alive when better men had not. And here, in a woodshed behind a whitewashed cottage, he was beaten utterly. When he rose, the ring cut into his palm. He welcomed the pain. He pressed harder.